So yeah, there is actually more updates as well on this one. So we saw this, billionaires are sending huge signals to Bitcoin and crypto holders, Max Kaiser.
Is going to jump
market volatility.
So literally billionaires giving us advice for free. People who have $10 billion, $1 billion, who have 200 million, 300 million, are just passionate to talk about it. And again, with XRP holders, a lot of people don't have this opportunity to actually check who they are speaking with. So if you wanted to sit down with Warren Buffett, someone would call you crazy, right? But in crypto, you can literally watch a podcast that has maybe 10,000 views, or this video, which has maybe like 200 views, 300 views. And then you see that all these big influential players are going to be giving you advice for free.
Billionaires are sending huge signals to Bitcoin and crypto holders, and you need to get in immediately. He recently shared his take on the current economic uncertainty. With tariffs and recession fears creating market volatility, Kaiser suggests that a major market rally is on the horizon.
That's exactly it. We saw, if you can see XRP doubling, what's stopping you from seeing it triple or go 4x when the full, we're like a car, and now the car is going only 20% of the speed. What if it goes 100? What if it goes 80%? It literally hasn't fully started yet.
Bitcoin has been trading more like a risk asset lately, meaning if the market recovers, Bitcoin is expected to surge alongside it. But the uncertainty is key here. If the market remains stuck in limbo, Bitcoin could face short-term pressure. This means that some investors are not buying Bitcoin because they believe in it, but are using the ETFs to short BTC, betting that the price will go down. Kaiser says the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF was a massive error on the part of the SEC.
Again, BlackRock buying this, they already bought Ethereum. What's stopping them from opening XRP ETF? BlackRock is the next big player on XRP, in my opinion. They are already have a lot of knowledge on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but this is the next big thing. Like, they have eyes on the prize. They love money, and they're going to go even harder on it.
He says we're headed for an unprecedented event as the printing of fiat money continues to drive entire economies off the cliff.
Nobody
Kaiser
needs fiat
maintains a
money
bullish
anymore.
prediction for Bitcoin, as the current price sits just over 108,500. Kaiser discusses the collapse of the fiat money system around the world and points out the dollar is falling faster than we've ever seen. This is where he says Bitcoin will actually show itself to be a true form of money without influence from inflation or government's continuous printing. Let's get right into the latest interview with Max Kaiser as he gives us his Bitcoin price prediction and why BlackRock's game plan will actually blindside the crypto market.
To protect.
This is literally, info for free that we got that BlackRock doesn't want, us to know, or doesn't tell us. But here we are seeing that BlackRock is also going big on other altcoins, not just Bitcoin. And that's why Bitcoin is also falling a bit right now. Literally, people are going for Ethereum. They're going for XRP. They just don't let you know.
Yourself against this inflation, you need to put your investable assets into something that's going to protect your wealth in an inflationary environment. So you've got two choices, gold or Bitcoin. And clearly Bitcoin is winning that race. Capital is flowing into Bitcoin, not gold. Gold is acting atrociously, and for a lot of different reasons. Mm-hmm. And investors are deciding to go into Bitcoin as a store of value. They're
literally holding XRP because it gives way more profit.
It's the only answer to escape this money printing insanity. The way to look at this, again, is to get out of
Again, why are the rents so high is because people have been printing, the government has been printing money. So a lot more money is useless. And basically the rent prices are doubled, the food is doubled. When you have $1, 5 years ago, it's worth way less. But if you had one XRP 5 years ago, it's now worth way more. So the math really does add out. It really evens out.
US-centric point of view, and to look more globally and understand how game theory works. At some point, it's going to kick in with a G20 country. And then suddenly that G20 country is going to be doing quite well because they're on a Bitcoin standard, and that will attract other competitors and other countries to come to say, you know what, we got to get in the game here. We can't. Let me put it to you this way. The idea of banning Bitcoin is fallacious. It's not, the risk is not or the outcome is not that countries are going to ban Bitcoin. The outcome is that countries like the US are going to start aggressively hoarding and mining Bitcoin. The US at some point figure out that, you know what, we have 8,000 tons of gold and we have a lot of treasury bills, but we don't really have any Bitcoin. And to stay competitive in the 21st century, we need to build our Bitcoin.
Again, all these governments have not still been buying crypto, which is a very big amount. What we see now is basically US trying to racetrack to be the first one to own altcoins. They already confirmed about owning XRP, but this takes time. This takes work. And we are seeing, BlackRock, basically front running and trying to buy a very big supply before anyone else, before other countries come in, before other people, millions of people say, hey, maybe the governments are buying. Maybe I should be buying as well. Maybe I should be bullish. Maybe crypto is not such a bad thing, because you got to believe when the government says something is good, people will end up buying tons of it.
Bitcoin position. We need to start hoarding Bitcoin. We need to start mining Bitcoin. And then America will be on the path.
That's why Trump has so many crypto companies right now. That's why he's secretly, they have XRP.
The recovery. And until that moment, it's going to be on the path of collapse. And that's what we can look forward to. That's where this is all going. Global Bitcoin war. It'll be a mad scramble by countries to try to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible in the same way that they would want to accumulate land or oil or gold, right? Countries.
The supply is finite. Like all of this stuff, it's not an infinite supply. So, when you are very rich, you're going to be hoarding these, you're going to be taking like 20 of these. And that's why people are buying thousands and thousands of XRP. BlackRock is buying it all.
Like to accumulate large quantities of things that give them power and wealth. And they're going to see that Bitcoin is the ultimate power and the ultimate wealth. And that is going to drive this global scramble by the superpowers to own as much Bitcoin as possible. Mm-hmm. That increases the hash rate, it increases the security, it increases the price. That's how you get to $1 million of Bitcoin, 2 million.
Everybody is greedy right now for Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, you name it. But look at which one rose to the top. Yes, it was Bitcoin, but which one was the second one out of 100 cryptos? It was XRP. XRP was the one that really blew out all of the everything out of the water since last year, since Trump's inauguration. Why? Literally after Trump got voted, XRP went up so much. It's because Trump believes in XRP. That's the truth. I see it.
Dollars of Bitcoin. There is no top for Bitcoin because there is no bottom for fiat money. If you're gonna say, you know what I mean? If you're gonna price Bitcoin in fiat money, the price is infinity, because all fiat money goes to zero. If you price it in ounces of gold, that would be a different way to price it. I think a more valid way to price it. I'm not sure exactly what the exchange rate is, ounces of gold to Bitcoin, 40, and then whatever that is, multiply times 100, and that's where we're going. There's two major issues with altcoins. With Bitcoin, you had the discovery of a absolutely scarce synthetic digital commodity. That's what Bitcoin is. And it took 20 years of looking by computer scientists to find it. And then in 2009...
Again, when you think about technology, it's evolving faster than people can buy it. This is the crazy thing. More people are now, still haven't found out about XRP because it's just such a fast technology, such a fast pace that you cannot find it out immediately.
And they discovered it. They found it after so much time and effort. And everything... So there was no expectation of cash flow. It was simply an exercise by computer scientists. Are we going to be there when this perfect, absolutely scarce synthetic digital commodity is discovered? And they succeeded in 2009 without the expectation of future cash flow.
So that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing people buying up supplies of XRP before it explodes.
Giants are doing just that. Kaiser reassures that a long-expected surge awaits, as Bitcoin's price is expected to rise exponentially in the first half of 2025.
And so the market's going to weed them all out. Anything that's not Bitcoin is centralized garbage, and it's all going to be weeded out. And all those folks, however, are going to come to Bitcoin, and it's going to increase kind of the presence of Bitcoin, if you will. So there's there's half a trillion or 3/4 trillion in capital tied up in these garbage altcoins and DeFi and all that nonsense. That'll migrate over to Bitcoin, and it'll strengthen the hand of Bitcoin. So we're going to see that. We're going to see that migration happen. So you put it all together, and you end up with Bitcoin becoming much more powerful, altcoins disappearing, and governments on the back foot, scrambling, not knowing what to do, as it should be. Proof of stake is fiat money. It's exactly fiat money. It just recreates the exact problem of fiat money. Fiat money is proof of stake. You have a lot of fiat money, you have power to go change laws. That's proof of stake. It already happened. It's called the US dollar. Recreating fiat money with digital money doesn't solve anything. It just creates more of a problem.
So that's the issue. People should be really reinvesting their money, not just buying, random stuff or keeping money in their bank, because it makes no sense if the big corporations are literally buying everything they have. They control no money. It made sense a few years ago. It really made sense because guess what? Everything was crashing. Stocks were crashing. So if you had a lot of money, this was good, right? Because if all the cryptos were crashing, you just bought them up. You bought them up for cheap. You bought real estate for cheap. These days, if you are actually having, tons of money, that is bad. Because there's no real winner. Like, your money will go basically to zero in 50 years, or it might halve, or the US dollar is not certain anymore. People have so many more investment opportunities. If you have 50, you couldn't think these things 30, 40 years ago because there wasn't enough money in the world to think about this stuff unless you were working in some real estate bank or doing a very high paying job. Nowadays, that is it. Like,
is there any use case for it? Right now, the only use case for Ethereum has been to launch fraudulent ICOs. So it hasn't even, it doesn't even know what it thinks it's supposed to be. The head of the project is constantly revising its mission statement. They revised the mission statement 4 or 5 times. So as a plaything by Silicon Valley, actually there's a split, David. It's an interesting split between Bitcoin and Silicon Valley. People would assume that Silicon Valley is on board with Bitcoin. That's not true. Silicon Valley actually doesn't like Bitcoin. Ethereum.
So again, people are bullish on Ethereum and crypto, but this mindset has changed as the prices went up. As in 2015, a lot more people were bearish on these cryptocurrencies. Now, suddenly, a lot of people are saying XRP, it's not that bad. I think I might just hold on to it. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. A lot of people who have said crypto is gone forever. Crypto is going to pass away. XRP will be gone here after the lawsuit. So many times I have read that. So many times I have heard that XRP is going to crash. And what I'm seeing right now is XRP going to all-time high and these people being shocked at what's happening with the prices. Because then again, the technology prevails. It's not only about money.